This conference will now be recorded.
All right, recording started. So what we are discussing is we have copied the planning areas with all the dependencies and we activated it as well successfully. It took close to 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes to activate the planning area. Then when we log into the IBP using the planning area that we created by copying the sample planning area SAP IBP1, we were getting this error. In order to resolve this error, we need to initialize the time periods using the time profile. So we went to the data integration job. We were doing that, but we were getting the um, date format related error. So whenever we get the date format related error, what we can do in our Excel, for example, this is our Excel, this was the date. It was in DD, MM, and then YYYY. What we can do, we can just, change the format. So IBP generally understands the date format. We can just, right click. I went to the format within the CSV file, and in the custom, we can just say YYYY, and then it is month and then days. And then it should be converted now. Let me save it and I'll come out of this. Let me go to the data integration app. Data integration jobs, and I'll again do this plus symbol. I'll select time periods. I'll say our time profile was 9, and if we do not know that which time profile we are using, the easy way is I'm opening one more app. I will go to an app called as planning area. I'm typing that in the search button. I pressed enter, clicking on the planning area apps, and the planning area that we had created. So it was this one, ZIVP 3D. All the three dimensions are there, SAP. If I go inside this planning area, so we learned in the general section, we have the time settings, and this number in the bracket is coming as 9. So this is the 9 number we have given when we were copying this planning area from our base planning area. So that's why I have chosen this number 9, because this is the one I want to initialize. Now the same file what we have is 99. I'll just take it, which we just modified, and then operation type I'll take as replace, and then I'll click on save button. So now it will take around a minute to complete these records. And last time what was happening, it was coming like this. that is this circle uh, in red color if it comes while loading any kind of data, whether it is related to the time profile, or is it related to, let's say, the key figure you are installing the data, or you are loading the data for the mass data like product, location, values, right? Customer values. So there, if you see this kind of symbol, it means that there is some problem with the CSV file format, that it is not allowing you to read that. So for example, on that day we were doing it, and if I want to search the logs, so on Friday we were trying, so I can just go to the 23/9 with the user ID which I logged in. I had this initial problem report. So this report told me that there is some problem with the date format, and now we have corrected that date format, and we see that this triangle is coming. So this triangle means um, this is still in the warning state. So once it complete, if, for example, out of 7,453, there are few records which are rejected for some reason, right? Other records are successful. So in that case, it will remain yellow. It will remain like this, yellow, and then exclamation mark will also come. So this little bit dark color yellow means it's in progress. It is still, not finalized, not in error, not successful. It is in progress. So now when it comes to this green color, this square box, if it comes, it means that it is successful, meaning all the records which are there in the file, it has been loaded successfully, and there are no records which are rejected. So if I want to see the success report for any reason, you know, let's say I have loaded a new master data, I want to see all records which are success, or if there are few records which are rejected, I can always download that report. So there is no rejection report as of now. Even if I download it, it will show me the 0 records. But if I take the full report, it will show me the total number of successful records as the total number of uh, rejected records as well. So via downloading the report, we can also analyze like what exactly, why if there are rejected records, why they are rejected. We'll get to know the reason for it. So now if we connect to the Excel, we should not get this particular error message, because now we have installed the time periods. So it will not say no time data. So let us perform that step as well. So I'm going to an log on button. So on that day we created the connection. Let's see, it is ZSAP IBP. Yeah, this is the one, Z IBP 3D SAP. So what all we have given here in the connection is the connection name, which can be any name we can give to it, the URL which you will get it, uh, you know if you are in project, you will get this URL from your company. So there will be different URL for the test environment, different URL for the production environment. The moment you provide this URL and say lookup planning areas, so in that environment, how many ever planning areas that you have in active mode, that all it will show here, and then we can choose the relevant planning area, and you can just say okay. The next time when you do, it will it will not show all of them because again you have to do the lookup planning. Yes, please.
Yeah, you said last time the quality and the production will be differentiated based on the planning area. But now you said this the different URL for development and production. So
Yes.
can you just explain a little bit about this? Why is a different URL inside a planning area?
So it goes like this. You have two environments. Let's say you have a test. You also call it as tenant.
Hmm.
So within this environment, you can create different planning areas
All right.
related to dev. You can create one planning area called as quality. You can create one planning area called as you can name it as for the betterment pre-production. And then in the production planning area, generally you will have single planning area, that is your production planning area. So what you will do, you will do the transport from this tenant, whatever the final changes are there in your pre-production planning area. But remember, it is still the test tenant, right? You have bifurcated it so that you get that feeling of the different environments that you have within the test environment. So people generally don't buy more licenses. So now I'm seeing the customers are also going for to buy three tenants. One will be test tenant, the separate will be the quality tenants, and the separate will be the definitely the separate will be the production tenant. But normally what we have seen, um, customers will have two tenant. One will be the test tenant, one will be the production, and this is how they will do. Okay.
Okay, so now the test run have one URL and then production run have another URL, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, if you see, I think previous recordings we discussed about this. Yeah, just go and then look at it. We discussed about the transport also, how the architecture will be. Yeah, in the real time. Go and just see the recordings. Okay. So now the next thing is we do not get this particular error message that um, we received last time because we have initialized it, and then in the real time, the data, the master data, and all, when we are in the go live, right? During the cutover activities of the go live, what will happen is uh, we will just transfer from our source system all the data. The batch jobs will run during that cutover period, uh, and then it will come into the planning system. But as we discussed, right, that in order to load the data, we can also use the CSV file, right? For example, if you want to showcase something to your client, right? You are in service-based environment, and then you have some demo to be given to a client as a part of, RFP proposals, right? So then in those cases, your IBP system, what you have taken, let's say in your company, does not necessarily connects with all the source system, and then in the traditional way the data will not come from your source system. So in that way, anyway, you have to set up your system using the sample CSV files. So what SAP has done is SAP has actually, uh, you know, uh, SAP has actually given the marketplace, which is something that called as rapid development solution. We generally call it as RDS. So in this RDS, you will require your S user ID. If you have the S user ID, you would need to to log in into that RDS site. If you just Google it, SAP IBP RDS, you will get that link. So once you go inside, you will see the minimum amount of documents there. But if you want to see the full amount of document and load the sample master data, transaction data, all of that from that RDS site, then you would require this S user ID. From your where you will get it, you will ask in your company to provide the S user ID, and you can give the business reason that I would like to visit to RDS site, or I would like to sometimes refer some standard SAP notes for the errors that I'm getting day-to-day basis, right? So those kind of stuff, you will need the S user ID. You can ask in your company. Once they give that S user ID login, you can go here and download all the CSV files with the relation to master data and transaction data, and uh, you know you can load those CSV files one by one, so that you have enough amount of master data and transaction data to showcase the functionalities of SAP IBP to any of the customer as a part of your proposal, right? Or
HS, I have, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah, so the question I have is how this RDS is different than sidecar. I see SAP IBP sidecar is there. So how it is
Sidecar.
different?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Customer
RDS
active.
is just a RDS is just a, it's a repository of the documents, nothing else. It gives you, all the standard documents will be there in terms of functionalities. You will have, end-to-end setup you can do by seeing those documents in the system. So RDS is your knowledge repository, which you will refer those documents, and they will also support you with the sample data as we are discussing, your master data, transaction data, time periods data. So now we have seen that file, right, for the time period. That also you can get it ready-madely available in your this RDS site. So it is nothing but it is just a knowledge sharing repository given by SAP. That's it. Okay. So what I'll do is I have actually in another laptop this I have downloaded already the zip file which has this master data transaction data. Maybe in the next class I'll just show you. I'll just take it and keep it handy. But using that, so what I'll do is that folder I will also keep it in the Google Drive, so that the way we will discuss, the way we will see that there are different folders. For example, there will be one folder of master data, there will be one folder of transaction data. So if you go inside the folder of master data, you will see that there are 20 to 25 master data files. One will be loading the product, one will be loading the location, one will be for customer. So we can load one by one. So those files are given the number in a sequence, like 10, 20, 30, 40, like that. So that will be easy for us to load it in that sequence itself. And then we can go to the transaction data folder. There also we'll have all the standard key figures, which we have seen there were 478 key figures in the planning area that we copied. So one by one we can load the data, and we'll see that the data has been loaded. So for now, let us see a sample of the data. If I want to load it on my own, how I can do that, right? So those are the files. I have the ready-made files, but there is a product called as, let's say, Samsung phone, right? There is a new launch of the Samsung phone, and that is the product that I want to do the planning. That belongs to a category called as smartphone. So I want to create a product, something like this. How do I do that? So I'm going to the Excel now. Let me close this connection. I'm logging in. So this is the uh, log on button I'm doing. So it should remember my username and password. So one time if we give, it will remember. So now after logging in, we are seeing all these buttons which we discussed, right, in our previous class, all the important functionalities of each of these buttons. So now one of the important buttons that we have is in this section, which is related to this master data topic, right? So now if I just go inside this create button, and what all the master data are available. So let me go to the product master data, and I'll say edit button. I'll click and I'll say OK. So it says that no data found. Why? Because we haven't loaded any data. It is just a new planning area that we copied. So the structure of that master data is copied, like what all, uh, in the last class, as someone mentioned, that metadata, right? Information about the data. All these headers have come, but we don't have data inside it, right? So using those CSV files, we learn that how to load that data. But if I want to create the data directly in this Excel, I can also do that. For example, there is a Samsung tab. So this is a high revenue generating product. Let me give it manually. This belongs to A category. ABC code as A, and the description is ABC code. Brand ID, it belongs to a brand ID called Samsung. It belongs to a category, or it belongs to a family, product family called as smart phone. Product description, I can give this as a all these are nothing but these are the attributes. What is the base unit of measure? Let me give it as piece, or it can be each. So this smartphone cannot be in liters and all, right? So if there is a product which is a liquid product, then we can have different, uh, base unit of measure. So now if I try to save it, so now what it is doing, it is just running the job in the background. And we have learned right in the past that anything we do, that will be captured in the application logs. And here it is showing me that total number of records are 1 because this one record we have just created. Total number of change records is again 1, and then total number of rejected records is 0. So if there are no rejected records, I do not want to download the report. So by default, it is ticked out that do not download the report. If I want, I can download the full report as well, just for my information purpose. And in case, let's say that I have 10 records out of which 2 are rejected, in that case also I can download the report for my action purpose, right? I want to take the action to correct those. So at this moment I say okay. It is just synchronizing the master data to the cloud system, and it is done. I can also, go and then refresh it. So now, as we have learned that any master data that will have by default the base version, right? It is saved in the base version. So now we can copy it to another versions. If we have created some other versions, we can copy that data in the other versions for our simulation purpose, right? Now the same thing if I want to do it via CSV file. How do I do it? So let's say that, I don't want to refer those files which are the CSV files in the RDS document. I want to prepare my own template and then load it, right? So what I'll do in that case, step number 1 will be to go into this app data integration jobs, and then I can download the particular template, because I should know that how the format looks like, right? What I want to download, I want to download the template related to master data. And what is the name of the master data? So now you remember, we have a planning area called as ZIP, ZIB P3D SAP, ZIBP 3D SAD, right? So what are the first 3 letters? ZIB. So if you go to this attribute section, your master data type will have a consistency with the first 3 letters, right? Everything will start from ZIB. So similarly, product will also start from ZIB. It will be the product. So now ZIBP product, right? In this, I want to load some data using the CSV file. So these all are the attributes, right? So what I'm doing is I'm downloading a template, because manually I don't want to give all these attributes in the CSV file and then put some data, right? I want the system to do that, so there is no manual error, right? When the system downloads the template, it will download the right template in the right format. So this is the data that I want to download the template for. I'll say download. So now here I'm opening that template. So it has given me a blank template, right? So in that RDS document, what you have is you have some kind of, sample data populated. So you can use those CSV files and then load one by one. So you don't have to download the template, populate each of the template with some, data values. So that is what, SAP RDS uh, documents will help us. So let's say that this one, I am so this is my key value. The ID should be there. This is a key attribute. Others are optional. The brand is Apple, and this is the all other data. This belongs to product group or anything. So let me also give the base unit of measure here. So unit of measure ID is this. Let me give as this also as each, or I can give piece, which is PC. And I'll save this template. And what I'll do is I will now load it. So loading is the same as we have done the loading of the time periods. So now this template is already, I have it. I'll cancel it. I'll go to this plus symbol. I'm clicking on this plus at the very bottom. Then it gives me all this. What I want to load now is mass data. I'm selecting mass data. What is the time? What is that mass data type? The mass data type is ZIBP product. ZIB, actually first three letters, and product. So I'm selecting this, and the file it is asking me. So the file which I have in the download folder. Okay, I think it got saved into any other folder. Let me see where it got saved. Let me search here. What name we have given? Do you remember what name we have given? Or it got automatically downloaded, right? Just one second. Let me go to the.
I didn't see any prompt to save it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there was no. It should be downloaded directly. So let me try once again. Yeah, so we opened it.
It should be in the download folder by default.
Yeah, I am checking here, but it's not showing me. Let me
Can you
refresh
just
it.
refresh? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So this is the one, the first one. Let me again go to the loading part. Now I'm canceling this. We already did it. So I'm browsing the file now. So okay, it's in the last. So let me take without one. This one. Open. So let it be comma because that is comma separated. And if you just right click, and in case there are semicolons in it, we can give the separator as semicolon edit. This one. So hardly you will see any separator, this column. Either it will be a semicolon or it will be comma. That's how the CSV should be. So now you see that operation types, there are different operation types, right? For the first time when we are doing it, whether we do replace or whether we do insert update, it's the same. But as of now, we already have one record here, right? We already have one record which we have given Samsung ABC code, right? Now if I do replace, what will happen is whatever is there in my file, it will just replace all the data with that which is there in the file. What is there in the file? In the file there is only one product called as apples. Yeah, right. Let's see that. If I just choose replace for this one, and if I say save, again I'm pressing save button. So this dark yellow means it's in progress. So total number of records are 1. Till now, nothing is successful, nothing is rejected. Let's wait for a few seconds, then refresh it. So you will see that, in your real-time projects, sometimes you will have thousands of records, but it won't take much time, you in your production environment. Um, okay, so I've seen there will be some even, more than 50,000 records. Also, sometimes you have to load it, and those won't take, much time to get it loaded. So for the first time when you're doing it manually, it may take, few seconds to do that. And especially in your training kind of environment, uh, it may be it may take a little more time. But this speed, you will have it normally a very good speed in your office production environment. Okay, so now this is loaded. Successful records are 1. Let me go to the same screen and then refresh it. Earlier, this is the one which we manually created, and now we have replaced it with that file. So I'm refreshing it. So now what it has done is it has replaced. So here comes the story, what happens on that day, right? So you were waiting, right, for that story that the whole data went off. So this is what has happened on that day, you know. So somebody just went, uh, and luckily, that was a test environment. He did this exercise using the CSV. So there was, 80,000 records which are already available in his file. It was only the single record, or I think a couple of records. All that 80,000 has gone, and then, those very few records whichever he has in file, he has it has replaced all the data. So because the product has gone, so now imagine what would be the impact of that particular problem. Your product location will also go, customer will also go, whatever data you have as a part of transaction data. Let's say for the Apple product, I have, the data related to it is, uh, let's say that what's the sales related to this product. All that data will also, vanish at one shot, right? So therefore, so what that person thought is, if I replace it, you know, whatever the data I have in file, it will just go and then search for that data and then replace only those IDs, right? But SAP has not designed this functionality in this way. So therefore, we need to be very, very attentive in the class as well to understand each and every, important aspects where I put some stress. Not everything is important, but yeah, there will be few things where the accidents can happen or which are really important. I'll be stressing on those so that, uh, you don't do those mistakes. So definitely, people learn from their mistakes, and this is second time which has happened actually in our project. 3 to 4 months back, so also the same thing has happened. So, in this case, what should have been done is we should have chosen uh, the operation type as insert update. So what it will do, it will, if that is existing, it will update. If that is not existing, if that record is a new record, it will just insert. So in which situations we will do insert update, in which situations we'll do replace. Let's say that, for a particular product, you have a stock in your inventory. So that stock keeps on changing every day in your warehouse, right? So products will be sold, then the stock will be decreased. There are new products which are coming in into the warehouse, the stock will increase, right? So on a daily basis, I don't want to do the insert update on a key figure data. Let's say that is stock on hand. So that data, I want to have it refreshly. I want to flush out every day and then flush in every day. So in those corner cases, I will go and then, replace it. Or it can be any other inventory that I am loading. I want to flush out every day, flush in every day. So let's say that I have, my own inventory that in the warehouse that I'm loading manually, I would prefer to load in the replace mode, so that all the products which are active should only get loaded on the daily basis which has some stock. Other, I don't need it. So in those cases, you should go for the replace mode. 90% of the time that you will see that the load which will be happening for your product master data, for your location master data, customer master data, product location, customer location, product location, customer, all that will happen in the insert update. Even when your data comes from your source system, internally, within the CPI, you will tell to the system that it has to come in the insert update, not in the replace mode, until unless that has to come in the replace mode intentionally. So then the second part of the story is whatever happened has happened, right? Now what should we do about it? So as we know the architecture, right, of this IBP, the control of this database is with SAP, and because it was a test environment, still the noise was more, right? So it depends on our business and in what phase we are. So let's say that if there is any important phase which is going on, right? Let's say the planners are testing some functionalities, right? They have to sign off some of the functionalities after testing in the test tenant. Let's say they were testing in the test tenant to sign off some of the functionalities so that they can move to the production system. Now in the test environment, if the whole data has gone, it is definitely a major impact, right? That impact is nothing less than, the data wipes out from the production, right? Both have the now equal priority. So then what we have done is we have raised a very high priority ticket to SAP. We had a call with them. We explained them the reason of the priority very high. So we have explained them that, we have a go live plan for so and so functionalities in this month, and we need to uh, get this sign off. So these many users are getting impacted with this. All that business impact, we have to explain it to SAP so that they can take it seriously, right? Otherwise, they will take the tickets on the normal priorities, right? So we have to give the business impact while raising the ticket, and during the call also, we can explain it to them, the real impact of this. So then what SAP has done is SAP has asked, when did you saw the data last time, right? So maybe one day before we have seen it, So some of the planners will confirm that, okay, this was the date that I have seen the data last. So we'll tell to the SAP that, you map it till this date and this timestamp, because we are sure that till this time this data was there. And another way to validate is we can actually go in the backend and see that, who has executed that particular job. So we can go to the application jobs and search, uh, or we can come to this data integration job and we can search like who has executed that job in the replace mode. So we'll get to know that, at what time, what date it was executed. So before that is the safe time when the data was available. We can just, validate that date and time which we have received from the planner, right? So these ways, uh, then SAP took that timestamp and they will take 1 day of time, full 24 hours to map this and to let you know that that data is back. Then what you will do is you will inform all the users to validate their data, to do a kind of a smoke check where you will do a fast validation that, okay, now you see the, the master data, some of the important validation you will do on the key figures. And as a part of testing, you were uh, keeping an eye on certain important part numbers or some important family of the product lines, right? You will just go and then validate that particular sample of data, and then you will see that, the data is all right. And then you will tell to SAP that uh, uh, now we are good, so that data is looking good. So maybe, uh, there could be here and there some manual changes which would have been done by the users. They have to rework it on those, but still, at least the data will be back to that, um, to the fullest strength that it was, and that way, will be saved. So it normally takes, full 1 day of time for the SAP uh, to image it back. So depending on the volume also, it can be little bit here and there, but yeah. So this is the story, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and then you will be careful with it, right? With the learning. All right. So
So, I have a question. So, in any cloud project, the
yeah,
customer, I mean, who implements the solution, I mean, the IBP solution. So, they have any basis people who work with SAP, or SAP take care of entire basis stuff?
yeah. So they, it will be like this. In this case, those basis people are called as, admin people, or, if they are related to giving you the authorization and all, they will call as security team. So that team internally will be there to talk to SAP, but still, the responsibility of this still lies with SAP. They will have their own, guys to support when they receive the ticket from your end. So your team, the security team or the admin team from IBP, they will be doing all the admin related tasks, but not to get the, to get the uh, backup of the data, as we have discussed in this case. That will be still lying with SAP. But there are many other tasks which the internal team will do. For example, there will be the internal consultants who will be the security guys. They will create the roles, they will create the users, all those stuff will still lie with them. And whenever the new project is happening, new candidates are joining, so they will be the part of those implementation. They will understand the metrics. They will also create the authorization metrics. They will get the approvals according to that authorization metrics. they will give the roles and responsibilities to each and every candidate whichever is joining in. Or sometimes we have to enhance the roles, so they will enhance it. They will take care of the firefighter ID. So there are many tasks actually those people will do, but there are certain tasks which only SAP will do, like this we have. And there will be some new features that will be also from the SAP side. There are some hot fixes in the system also as a periodic basis that will be from SAP, and they will communicate to each of their customers what SAP actually is doing as a part of their activity. Yeah. All right, very good. So now if I open the same file, download folder, and this is the file. Let's say in this file, yeah, in this file, let's say that I have another versions. I just copy this. So 7.1, 7.2 version of this iPhone. And now I will do it in the insert update mode. I load it once again. So I'm doing plus and I'm browsing the file. So you see now I'm not out of this screen. So whenever I do plus, it will remember what I've done in the last session. So I don't have to give it again. And one more thing, if you have, in sequence, when you are loading product, after that you have to load customer. So then you can say save and new, because again you have to do new, again you have to do new. But in case you want to do only one load, then you can also do this save. So both have the same functionality, but this will open up a new tab here after you are done with the work like this. So it will be ready with the new tab. So now I'm browsing it and I'm taking this file, open, and now I'm selecting insert update and I'm just saving. So I press the save button and then here. So one product was already existing. It will just override that with the same values, and then other two it should insert. So this is how the insert update actually works out. Okay, so now this is completed. I'm going here, I'll refresh it. So if I would have replaced this Apple with some some other brand ID, then what it would have done is this product ID already exists. It would have matched the key and just update whatever we have given in the Excel. So this is how the insert update will work out in the system, and similarly it will go for location, customer, all that we can load it. So in our next class, what we'll see that RDS document as well. And when you're doing the practice, when you copy your planning area into a new planning area, that time you can just load it in that sequence. So similar to this, we also have this delete functionality as well. So very rarely and be very careful about this delete as well. This delete will delete whatever you have in your file. So for example, if I'm choosing a file, so this file I'm choosing and I'm deleting it. Let me close it. Okay, let it do. So it should delete now all the records which are there. Yeah, so this is what we learned today, that we can use the CSV, and these are the three main operations. One is insert update, another is replace, another is delete.
So HS, so delete means it will match with some records then delete, or how it will be?
Yes, yes. So whatever records are there, right, already existing in that product
Okay,
ID will match and it will
okay.
delete. In case there are anything in the file which does not exist in the system, let's say that product ID does not exist, then it will do nothing. It says that it's not found. So one of the record in that case will be rejected. It will say that that particular product does not exist in the system. And now I'm going here and I'll refresh it. And now it says that no data found. So there is no data now. So we deleted that data. So this is how, the master data operations will work out. So we'll see that folder, RDS folder, I'll also put it in Google Drive. So next class, I'll just show you that folder as well. And we will proceed with other stuff in our next class. We'll see other things in the master data. All right.
HS, yesterday we requested for the access, and I was told I should be getting no action so far. Can you please let them know?
Yeah. I'll let them know. All right.
Yeah, it is
So
for myself and Vinod.
so it is Jay and Vinod,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let them know. Hi Rajshekhar. Hope everything
Thank you.
is, yeah. Do you have any issues with the Excel, Rajshekhar, if you hear me?